this is like our cheat sheet for numbers, this part up here, okay? And now I'm going to type in a few of the numbers we want to play around with to see if we can do them, okay? So I'll start with some English language ones to try to convert into Japanese, and then we'll work the other direction in a minute. Okay, so... I'm guessing the first one people probably had trouble with was here. It is, it's easier. There we go. Are these some of the numbers that gave everybody fits?
Yes.
Okay, so look at my cheat sheet first of all. Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about when I'm putting those there?
The 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000 place.
Yes, the place values. So this would be the ones place, right? This goes to the tens, this one is hundreds, and then this would be sen, and this would be mon, right? So this much, we're going to copy and paste right underneath, okay? Let's see if I can get it to line up nicely. Maybe. Okay, so can you kind of see what I'm talking about? Maybe if I enlarge this font a bit. And now try to kind of get it to line up a little. How's that? So if you're looking at this, you can use this as a sort of cheat sheet to help you know how to read it aloud in Japanese also. Because if you're pronouncing it in Japanese, this is yon, right? Man, nisen, go, hyaku. Don't say the ones for the zeros. Okay, so yon man, nisen, go, hyaku would be how you would pronounce this number. Okay, how would you then convert it into Japanese? Where is the yon going to go?
In front of the mon.
Right here, okay? So you can, let's switch over here to Japanese setting. So you can put in the yon here, right? Yon man. Okay, and then what do we need next? Nisen, right? See it so far? And then go. Yeah, oh, sorry. What am I doing here? Go hyaku. And then these don't apply because those are zeros, right? You see what I'm doing? Okay, and then you just read it the way it's shown, right? Yon man, nisen, go hyaku. Make sense? Okay, looking at this next one, what do we need to use? If this is ichi, ju, hyaku, this one is sen, man, what's this one going to be? Juman. Okay, so since this is ichi, what's it going to be? It's going to be the ju, right? So ju, and then what? Roku, and then what?
Hachi, sen.
No, first we need man, right? Ju, roku, man. Does everybody see why we need that there? Jurokuman, okay, and then, okay, which instead of pronouncing it hachisen, does anybody know how we pronounce it? Hassen, yeah. So, and even when you're typing, hassen, like that, will get you the right kanji. Okay, hassen. And then do we need to say anything else beyond that? Nope, that's it, right? That's it for that one. Okay, use that same method here. So we've got ichi, ju, hyaku. Everybody with me so far? Sen, man. What's this?
Jumon.
Okay,
Or
this is going to be the
ni-
Juman, but because it's a ni, it's going to be ni what? Ni Juman, right? Ni Juman. Ni Juman, there you go. And what's this part? If this is ni Ju, what's this? San
Yaku.
Byaku, right? So you're going to put the San Byaku up in front. San Byaku ni Juman. Is it starting to make some sense? Yeah? What about this last one? So again, let's start from over here. Ichi, ju, hyaku, right? Sen, man, what's juman? Okay, so what's this category? Hyakuman. So what number? What? How many hyaku?
No, no.
Nana, hyaku. What? Nana hyaku man, right? So we're good so far. And then if that was nana hyaku, what's this category going to be? Go sen, exactly. Go sen, nana hyaku man. Does that make sense? Okay. Did I lose anybody? Okay. So if you're looking at a Japanese one, let's say, for example, the TV price was Juniman Sanzen yen. So how would you convert that into English digits? Let me type it in here. So it was Juniman Sanzen, right? Juniman Sanzen, which is going to be equivalent to what? Juni is what in English? Juni. 12. Okay.
That's
Oops.
120.
I didn't mean to undertake it there. Okay, so I want to, okay, so 12 mon, right? And then the 3 is what? 3,000.
1,000.
So san, and then how many zeros?
3 zeros.
Okay, so does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
What about the house price? We've got san, zen, kyu, hyaku, right? San, zen, kyu, hyaku. So what's that gonna come out to? So san, zen is,
Is 3,000.
oh, and what did I leave out? San, zen, kyu, hyaku, what?
Mon.
Man, yeah. That's important, right?
Yeah.
It's a big difference in
It's a
price.
cheap
between
house.
them. Yeah. One's a dollhouse, one's a house that people can live in, right? Okay, so sanzen kyu hyakuman. So sanzen is 3,000, right?
This would be.
And kyu hyaku is 900. So sanzen kyu hyaku man.
This would be 39 million.
Okay, so how many more zeros do we need to add in there?
4, right?
Yeah, because if you look back up here, we're over at this one, right? Sanzen, kyu, hyaku, man. So sanzen, kyu, hyaku, man, and then we've got to add in a 0 for sen, a 0 for hyaku, a 0 for ju, and a 0 for ichi to get all of our place values, right? And then you can go backtrack to find where you want to put your commas. Make sense? Is that little gimmick, using this, helping?
Yep.
Does that help it make some sense? I get confused on the big numbers myself. This is what I use. I cannot do numbers beyond about Juman in my head. But if I write it out with this, I can figure them out. I can deal with it if I'm staying in one language or the other. I can't do the conversions in my head. And one thing you'll find in Japanese is even if you're talking to fellow exchange students whose first language is not Japanese, if you're talking about how much you paid for something in yen, very often the conversation will keep the word man going, even if you're talking in English. How much did you pay for that thing? Oh, I paid goman for it. Or I paid 5 man for it. Why? Because converting man into 10,000 makes it more confusing. If you just keep it in man, everybody who's studying Japanese knows how much ichiman is, right? But if you have to convert it, you get yourself all confused. So, you know, oh, you bought yourself a fancy kimono. How much was it? Goman en.
That's really expensive.
That was a used silk kimono. Seriously. For a brand new one of the exact same type, it would have been twice the price. And we're talking about 20 years ago.
Man is the 10,000s, right?
Yeah. Yeah, kimono are expensive. Okay, so does that help a little bit with numbers? Does anybody still have other questions regarding numbers or kanji?
I don't know if this will make it more confusing, and if it does, just disregard. But with like I think number 2 we were doing, would it be appropriate just because of the way like it's written after the mon to think about it as 16 mons first? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
juroku man, and then hasen. Yeah, if you want to put some sort of a visual break there,
Yeah.
I mean, if it works for you to even like insert your man kanji in there to help yourself, that's fine by me. You know, if you want to squeeze that in tiny little print in your notes or something to help yourself see it, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, whatever works for you.
Because
Okay.
I was like trying to do that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Were there questions about other aspects of the kanji, such as dealing with time phrases or other questions about price and how to write out price? I didn't write the yen stuff here, but did you notice that when it was in front here, they were writing the little Y with the 2 lines across it symbol? That's the equivalent of the $sign in English, okay? But if you're writing it out in kanji, writing the kanji for N here, that's the equivalent of spelling out the word dollars in English. So how many of you have ever written a paper check? I know not a lot of people use them anymore. But if you write out a paper check in English, you have to spell out the word dollars, right? You know, you're writing out a check for $100, you write $100, right? That's the equivalent, yen, written with kanji like that. Okay, so please remember, and they're not the same. On this quiz, I'm looking for this yen kanji. I'm not looking for the Y symbol. They're 2 separate items. Okay, they both mean Japanese currency, but on a kanji test, I'm looking for the actual kanji. Make sense? Okay? So if you're gonna do numbers for time, let's say you're doing 9 o'clock, for example. How do you say 9 o'clock? Kuji, right? Remember it's pronounced ku, not q, when you're talking about time. Kuji. And then the kanji are gonna look like that one. Did you notice how many synonyms or homonyms for kuji there were? Right. This is one reason why kanji will never go completely out of fashion in Japanese, I think. When you've got 10 possible homophones.
Yes.
I haven't looked at time much, but I know that there's for 8 o'clock it's
Hachi-ji.
then what was the one where
Maybe 7 o'clock.
Shichiji is 7 o'clock. What is
oh my
the
question.
Shichiji versus Nana? Is that, yeah. So if you're looking at all of them, 1 o'clock is Ichiji, right? 2 o'clock is
Niji.
Niji. 3 o'clock, Sanji. 4 o'clock,
Yoji.
Yoji. That's the other one that's an unusual spelling. It's Yoji, not Yonji. Okay, Yoji. But then when you hit the space bar, you get that kanji, Yoji. Okay, and then the rest of them are pretty normal. Goji, Rokuji. It is Shichiji, not Nanaji. Okay, I don't know why, but it just is. Shi, chi, ji, like that. And you get the right kanji. Okay, I've never really heard anyone say Nanaji. It just sounds odd. Just is. Okay, and then Hachiji, Kuji is the other oddball pronunciation. Okay, and then Juji, Juichiji, and Juniji are all standard pronunciations, right? So these three are the only three where you have to pay attention because the spellings or pronunciations might be a little different from what you're expecting to hear. Okay, so Yoji, Shichiji, Kuji. Okay, any other questions about time phrases?
How would you at like 6:18 or something like that?
That's actually not on the test, but if you wanted to know, you would keep this part. So for example, if you're doing 418, yoji would be the first part, and then the 18 would be juhachi, because that's 18, right? But then instead of saying hachi, because it's one of the ones that makes it shift, instead of saying hachi pun, would be juhappun. So instead of hachi, it becomes a small tsu, and then pun, juhappun, and it looks like that in kanji. But that pun kanji, the minutes kanji, is not on this test.
Have we learned that yet?
No, that we haven't covered that yet. So for this test, you do not need to know how to do minutes, only hours. Okay. I'm just double checking. There's nothing else on here. I do want you to be able to do phone numbers and ages and year in school type stuff with digits and with kanji numbers rather. So for example, if somebody is a first-year student, what do you call that again? Ichinensei. So, ichinensei. If you do it in full kanji, it looks like that. But we haven't learned how to do these kanji yet, right? So these I wouldn't be expecting to see in kanji. So you would do ichi, and then nensei, spelled out like that, ichinensei. Okay?
So that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, what about if you've got somebody that you're telling us is, I don't know, 25 years old? How do you say that someone's 25? Hey, ni, ju, go, right? Ni, ju, go, sai. Okay, so, and again, we haven't learned the kanji for sai yet, so I'm not looking for the kanji for sai. Okay, nijugo sai, you would write nijugo in kanji, leave the sai alone. What about a phone number? Let's say you've got a phone number like that. How would you do that in kanji? Okay, so san, ni, ichi, no. Whoa. See what happens when you don't know what you, san. Oh, come on. I want that sign. And it doesn't want to cooperate, does it? See the problem with kanji? Sun. There. Ni. Kanji ni, yeah. Ichi. Okay, and then what comes next for the hyphen?
No.
No. Why do we need no instead of a hyphen? Because what's a hyphen look too much like?
Ichi.
Ichi, yeah. That would be a problem, wouldn't it? So, san ni ichi no. And then what's the 508 going to be? Go. Go. Zero. Or rei would be an option. Rei you can do in hiragana. Zero you can do in katakana. Okay. Go zero and then hachi. Right, and then another no. And then what? Yon. Yep. And then Q. Not that Q. That Q. Okay, and then Roku. And then Nana. Why do we use Yon and Nana? Does anyone know? To avoid confusion. Because over the phone especially, or if someone's talking too fast, shi, shichi, and ichi could all sound very close to one another, right? So if you use yon and nana consistently every time you're using phone numbers, then it's always going to be clear which number you really mean. The other thing they do, just for the sake of clarity with pronunciation, is the short ones like ni and go, they extend the vowels just when they're telling phone numbers. So, san, ni, ichi no, go, zero, hachi no, yon, kyu, roku, nana desu. That's how you would say a phone number like this out loud. Okay, that is purely a pronunciation thing. You don't write it any differently. But it helps people to hear clearly that you mean go, not something else, or that you mean ni, not something else, when you're saying the numbers for a phone number. Because it's fairly important, right? If you mishear someone's phone number, you're never going to find each other again, right? Okay. Any questions about anything else? We've got ages, we've got years in school. What about higher numbers for years in school? We talked about ichinensei, ninensei, but it goes higher than that, right? What if you've got like a 5th grader in elementary school or a 6th grader in elementary school? How do you say 6th grade in elementary school? Rokunensei, yeah. How do you say 5th grade? Gonensei, exactly. Just the way you would expect. The only thing is, after Rokunensei, they start over. Chugaku, ichinensei, first year of middle school. And then when you get to high school, they start over again. Koukou, ichinensei, first year of high school. So they never get as high as 6 again after the end of elementary school. Okay. Any other questions about numbers of any sort? Okie dokie. So I will close this.